I escaped the matrix, and so can you. You don't need to be an influencer. You don't need to be an entrepreneur. By the matrix, what I mean is the rat race. The wake up, go to work, feel completely unfulfilled, come home. In the last few hours of your day, try and do something meaningful. Probably do something restful because you're completely exhausted. Feel bad about it. Go to sleep. Repeat over and over and over again until you're old, you retire, you collect your pension. It's barely anything. You spend most of your time sat on the sofa because your health is completely drained. You go to the grocery store, you talk to the person who checks you out for 5 minutes because it's the only bit of human interaction that you get all day, and then you die. Most of us are waking up to the fact that this is not the life we want. This is not the way that we humans should or ever naturally have existed and lived. It's insane. It's insanity. We're told that we're individuals. Our individuality is suppressed, and we are instead separated. We are separated from community. We are separated from connection to the nature, to our surroundings, and we're separated from each other. And it feels dreadful. And mental health is plummeting. It is in free fall across most of the Western world because we are so fed up and so tired and so exhausted and so drained. If you want to get out of it, the common advice is to be an entrepreneur. Have an online business, sell online courses, or be a full-time influencer. The truth is, 90% of small businesses fail within the first year. Of those that don't fail, the vast majority are either making a loss or breaking even. Most businesses do not start to turn a profit until 3 to 5 years. And are you out of the rat race once you have a successful business? For a lot of people, they're not. A lot of people, they simply go from working from an employer to working for a client. They go from working 40 hours a week to working 60 hours a week. Look, there's some people who make it a success, and all the power to them. That is fantastic. But even for those who do make it a success, a lot of the time it is done at the expense of the earth. It is done by buying into consumerism, which we're actually trying to escape, a lot of us. We don't want to live in this insane consumer society where we're constantly taking, consuming, spitting out garbage we don't actually want and we don't actually need. Some people become an influencer. I need to obviously acknowledge I do have a YouTube channel. I have 3,000 incredible subscribers, and I make about £70 to £80 a month on YouTube, which I am extremely grateful. It's some of the best money I could make. But obviously, I'm not a full-time influencer. I don't want to totally deride influencers, but again, a lot of people simply can't cut it. A lot of people do not have extremely marketable faces, bodies, lives, lifestyles, and they also don't necessarily want to market all of this stuff in exchange for their freedom. We get a little bit of privacy in our life, surely. There's another way, and nobody online is talking about this, but it's the way I've used, and whilst I've been travelling and using this method, I have met loads and loads of other people who are also using it. It's a lot more accessible, it's a lot easier to get into, it's way more successful. This method is long-term volunteering, particularly at intentional communities, but of course you can long-term whatever opportunity that you find that you like. I use a website called workaway.info. There are thousands of different opportunities across the entire world which are hosted on this website, where you can go and in exchange for 5 hours per day, 5 days per week, you get food and accommodation. There's a huge range of different opportunities, and you do need to use a bit of personal discretion. Some are better and some are not so good, but they are incredible. And I've volunteered at different places, from Vedic temples to vegetarian restaurants in the south of India to building a yoga ashram at the top of a mountain in the Philippines. I am currently at a workaway in Portugal, where we have an incredible big house with a beautiful 7 acres of land, which is used in the summer for festivals and workshops. There's other websites out there such as HelpX, Worldpackers, and WWOOF, Woofing. And there's also many other opportunities which you will not find out about online, but once you get out there and you get talking to people, you will hear about them. For example, I heard about one opportunity where you could work at an elephant sanctuary in Thailand, and they were looking for volunteers, and it was the same thing. You spend a few hours a day volunteering, and in exchange you get accommodation and food. Look, I can't pretend that money isn't a thing. I spend about £20 per week on random things, hygiene items, snacks, public transport, that kind of thing, and £200 every other month on flights. It's very rough approximates. Sometimes it's a bit more, sometimes it's a bit less, but that makes it that I need about £200 per month. That's also £2,400 per year. For somebody working a fairly good job, that is actually a really reasonable amount to save if you wanted to get out for a year. And I know a lot of people who are finding ways to make money on the side, and also who have expenses which are way below that. There's a number of people who I've met who their main mode of transportation is hitchhiking. And they have very few belongings, they buy almost nothing, they volunteer constantly, and they usually have different skills that they can use whilst they're on the road. I knew some people who provided massages, and they were able to charge for their massages, and they'd been travelling since 2016, so 8 years full time, never really been home, just on the road for 8 years. I know another guy who was here. He was a tattoo artist. He would spend most of his time volunteering and hanging out at different amazing communities like this, and then every now and then he'd go back to Germany for a month, do a bunch of tattoos, and come back out. Like I said, I have a YouTube channel. I make £70 to £80 a month on my YouTube channel, and I reckon with a bit of intentional work, I could definitely bring that up to £200 a month, and then just survive infinitely. And hopefully at some point I'm going to find a community that is open to permanent stays and that wants me. Now, when I say intentional communities, what I mean is large groups of people who are usually living mostly off the land, off-grid. They've got permaculture methods. They frequently come with certain philosophies about the world. And they are really connected to each other, to the land. It's a much more natural and beautiful way of living. It does have its downsides. There are times where things go completely wrong, and I've definitely noticed a few workaways that I've been at personally which may or may not have been a cult. There's times where I've left a little early, but every experience I've had has overall been positive, even if some of them have been learning lessons as well. I cannot begin to express how much happier I am living like this compared to where I was a year ago. I had a reasonable job in London. I did own a house. I was married, and I'm not going to go into my life story right now. I can at some point when I'm ready. I got rid of all of it. Sold all my positions. I've got 4 bin bags of clothes at my parents' house, and that's it. My life just feels so much more natural. I feel happy most days. I feel alive. I feel in tune with reality. I feel like I'm living a real life where I get to have real experiences. I get to meet real people, hear amazing stories of their lives. And I'm not just constantly trapped doing the same thing over and over and over again. I've been out, it's now April. I left in at the end of October, so I've been doing this for about 5 months, and I never want to go back. I never want to go back. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. If you want to escape the Matrix, then I really, really wish you the best of luck. My best advice is just do it. Do it, 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 do it. Tell me what you think. I want to know who I'm talking to. And I want to know how you think. But with that, love you all. Good luck. Take care of yourselves.